All right, while you weren't looking, I went ahead and I finished off our cylinder. I added a yoke to the slides, and I added some hydraulic cylinders, and I attached those to the slide carriage. And you can see that the slots and the holes are placed accordingly. So I'm going to go ahead now and add some water to the core side, and we'll add some ejection and just show you how easy that is to do, and how automatically things get updated. So what I did was I used the key creator auto water command, and I specified the distance between center lines of the water and the distance that I want the water to stay away from any surface. So you can see that XMD has placed the water lines, and they went through the core block. And we'll try and switch to a better view here to see them. There, that's a little bit better. So I've got this series of water lines going through the core block at specified distances. So now I'm just going to turn off everything else and just switch to my core block view. And I'm going to add a couple of horizontal lines. I'm using the more traditional key creator waterline or XMD waterline commands right now. We have little tools along the way like plate depth command, waterline depth commands. So I selected a waterline and at the lowest point in the core, and the depth was set automatically to that waterline. And XMD is put a waterline intersecting. Trim commands work pretty nifty. You see that was a hole going through the core block, and I used the XMD waterline trim, and it closed the hole back to where I needed it to be. So to save a little bit of time, I went ahead and trimmed the water lines and things while you weren't looking, and I'll add a couple of counterbores here. So you can see how easy it is. Just pick it and it's updated automatically. We haven't looked much at the 2D yet, but that's being done. Any water lines that are intersecting, all the trimming is done automatically in the 2D views. So we'll see a little bit more of that later. We're going to go ahead and add a couple of bubblers or blade baffles right now. So again, these are fully associative, very intuitive components. And when I add a bubbler, again, I can specify how far I want the sidewall or the tip of the bubbler to be away from any surface, and that bubbler won't go through those surfaces. And when I move that bubbler, it gets updated automatically. You can actually see it move up and down in the side view as you move the bubbler underneath surfaces. It's pretty slick. So I just threw 4 bubblers in there, and then again, mirror to the other side. And as I turn around here, you'll be able to see those bubblers and the different heights of them. Okay, so I'm going to place a few ejector pins. Again, this is nothing like you do in real life, but just know that XMD is capable of doing all the things that you need to do. you would add more injection, you would add more water, you would add more bubblers, so on and so forth, and with a little bit more complexity in a lot of cases. But XMD is more than capable of taking on the most complex jobs. We'll mirror those to the other side. So these ejector pins automatically projected to the surface. Holes are in the retainer plate. Clearance holes are in the core block, as you can see now. They've automatically projected up to the core surface. And XMD knows exactly what size those pins are, what the diameters are, what the catalog numbers are, who the vendors are. And it's automatically added to the material list. So you can sneak a peek through there to see the pins. And we'll go and have a look at the individual plates. All the counterbores and clearances are in the retainer plate. And as I said, the core block has all of the clearances and reams as well.